Political commentators noticed that the secretary was dismissed hours after stating that Russia is responsible for the poisoning of a former Russian spy in Britain. Trump has remained silent on the subject. In his farewell speech Tuesday, Tillerson had a message for the Russian government.
Russia must assess carefully as to how its actions are in the best interest of the Russian people and of the world more broadly. Continuing on their current trajectory is likely to lead to greater isolation on their part, a situation which is not in anyone's interest.
Trump's choice for Tillerson's replacement is the head of the CIA, Mike Pompeo. Former high-ranking U.S. diplomat Tom Countryman, who was fired by Tillerson, told VOA that Pompeo likely knows a lot about Russia's interference in the U.S. political process.
I hope that he may be able to convince the president not just to acknowledge that this is a problem, but for the first time to get the president to do something to defend U.S. democracy against these covert operations.
Political analysts note that Pompeo has a military education, and Trump seems to work well with military officers.
You will see a more robust, more Trumpian, more hands-on, more integrated foreign policy that will be closer with the Pentagon, with the intelligence community, etc. There will still be critics because Pompeo is a partisan Republican. He's a former congressman.
The reshuffling at the State Department comes ahead of Trump's possible May summit with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un on denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. May is also the time when Trump says he wants to abandon an international nuclear agreement with Iran.
And those two things just can't go together. There is no way in the world that throwing out a valid agreement that is working would increase your negotiating leverage with North Korea. Rather, it should cause the North Korean leader to ask himself, how can I sign any agreement with a president who's prepared to break every previous agreement?
But Countryman commends the president for taking the risk, as long as he doesn't expect to come out with a comprehensive agreement on North Korea's nuclear disarmament. Some analysts say it is not worth holding a summit without a hope of achieving it. Zlatica, Hoke, VOA News, Washington.